All right. So welcome to our monthly Propel gathering. This time we are online, and tonight we are focusing on Diamond Bound. This year's theme was Grit and Grace, and it was held in Nashville, Tennessee, just a couple of weeks ago. And the most exciting thing, I'm just going to say it right out of the gate, is that just 3.5 hours ago, Jordan Schrant made the announcement of where Diamond Bound 2020 is going to be held and when it is going to be held. So at the top of your notebook, if you haven't seen the video yet, mark down September 25th through the 27th, 2020, and it is going to be conveniently located in Dallas, Texas, which is a straight shot right south of here. You can fly very easily, or you can do a drive in a day, and it's no big deal. So I love that she's giving us a year to plan, just under a year perhaps, but really we've got time to get our ducks in a row. And after tonight, after you hear some of the takeaways, I know that if you were not at Diamond Bound a couple of weeks ago, I'm pretty confident that you're going to want to be at Diamond Bound 2020. So I would love to have everybody raise their hand if your video is on, or put it in the chat box if you were at Diamond Bound 2 weeks ago. How many attendees do we have? All righty. I see a few. Perfect.
So Shar was there.
Yep, we've got Michelle, Amy, Janice. Is that everybody? Maybe. Kara Hall, aren't you awesome? You're here twice tonight. Extra credit, girl. Good job. All right, perfect. So what I would love to do is I want to give everybody plenty of time to share about what their favorite takeaways were. So I definitely do not need to start. I figure Britta and I can probably do wrap up at the end. Mr. Trine, it is very good to see you. It's Skyla.
He's starting to put together our baby dresser, so he's doing 2 for 1.
Bless your heart. Good work. That's awesome. Carry on. Don't let us disturb you. I love it. Well, Janice or Amy or Michelle, would any of you guys be willing to open up and share a few thoughts? Janice, was that a nod?
I can super quick if nobody wants to go.
Okay.
It's slightly quiet where I'm at.
Go for it.
Want me to go first? Okay. So this is my second year at Diamond Bound, and I loved both years for separate reasons. But some takeaways that I took away from this year was saying thank you. And saying thank you to like everybody, not just the people that are ordering every month, and not just the people, that are new to the team or whatever. But so I actually came home and I made postcards on Vistaprint, and I have actually already sent out like 6 or 7 of them. And I already feel like gratitude is being like, I'm more grateful and more things are being brought to me because of that. And it's been 2 weeks? Yep. So that was like the biggest thing that I took away and then I brought home and actually implemented, because I am probably the queen of procrastination when it comes to going to events. And then I have all these grand ideas and then I get home and then I don't follow through with any of them. So that was one that I actually followed through with. So I'm super excited about that. And I made them super simple. with just a basic response on the back. Like, thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey. You know, let us help you. I forget exactly what it said, but, and then I only ordered 50 of them because I think I'm going to change them for this season. So that, you know, and I actually thought of sending them out during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Because we have a lot of people that don't normally order during those times. And, you know, we have thank yous for people on ER, and we have thank yous for other things, but not just because you placed an order. A couple of my other takeaways were, I think Doug Schrant said this was, you know, Jesus only worked with 12. He just had his 12 disciples. And I actually wrote down, I still need to do this, but I'm going to look at my downline and find 12 people that I really actually want to work with, and build better relationships with those people, as opposed to, well, they're my leg leader or they're, you know, whatever, and just be more focused in that. So I think those are kind of my two big takeaways from Diamond Bound this year. I mean, I had lots of nuggets. I don't have my book with me because of my current location, but anyway, and maybe Britta, did I say anything the other day that when we were talking, maybe you remember something else that I said, but those are the two things that really stuck out to me this year.
I'm sure that some other people may cover them, and if you think of more, Michelle, you can share. You can come back on. We give you opportunity to come back.
Okay. Well, my environment may get super loud, so I might not be able to do that. But totally, I'll think about it.
Okay.
Thank you, Michelle. Those were certainly two really big takeaways. I agree. I've heard that first one about saying thank you from several people. I think that was something that we heard from Aaron Rogers, who is a Royal Crown Diamond, and that was very powerful. So anybody else want to share?
I can go ahead and go, Skyla.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thanks, Amy.
Was there somebody that was?
Nope.
Okay.
Go for it.
I thought I heard something in the background. I'm sitting here looking through my book because, you know, in terms of business building, there's a lot that we hear at, you know, every year. This is my second year at Diamond Bound, and she does such a fantastic job of bringing all kinds of different personalities in to speaking with us in terms of business building, but it all boils down to, you know, building relationships, talking with people, and educating. And however we want to do that, but really, if we don't embrace those three different areas, you know, we're missing the mark in building our business. And in terms of business building, the one takeaway I took was just being consistent with relationships. And I grabbed a notebook. Actually, it was a notebook I intended on taking notes with at Diamond Bound, but I've made it my contact book. So I've been very intentional since I left of making contacts, and specifically who I wanted to make contacts with. Richard Bliss Brooks talked about knowing your numbers. And so I did that. In fact, on the 10-hour drive back home, I went and looked through the virtual office and looked where I need to build relationships in my downline. So that's what I've been focusing in on and working on. But one of the things, Jordan is very, very strong on this. If you've ever listened to her talk in the past, is before you can do anything in this business, you have to do the heart work, HEART. And when I was sharing, there was a speaker, I'm trying to look at who she was. It was after Carrie Lewis. When she talked, my red went crazy when she was talking because she had to keep pulling herself back in. You know, that blue personality was all over the place. However, she really struck a chord with me because in 2019, and I actually probably started in 2018, I've really been looking inward. And it really just hit me. I still can't talk about it without getting emotional. But that's been my biggest aha is that until I get everything, not everything, but there's a lot of work to be done inside before we're ready to roll, with this business on the outside, if that makes any sense.
John Maxwell calls that the law of the lid, right? Our group and our organization will only grow to the point of where we are, and we are the lid for our group. And if we don't do that internal work and that, internal reflection and growth, and that's where personal development, however that comes, is so important, because people, we have influence over them, but we have to earn that influence.
Absolutely. And just to share, shut me up whenever you want to. I've been in this, for a while now, and honestly, Skylar, you and I've talked a lot. There've been roadblocks that I've hit, and one of my team members is on here right now, and I'm sure she can attest to this. But I have come from a very successful business side, and so I entered Young Living with kind of that. I know how to do a business, and I wasn't coachable. I wasn't teachable when it came to this. In my business world, if I didn't like what you did, I could fire you, and I could develop the team that I wanted. And this isn't like that at all. And so I had to learn how to open my ears and really get coachable and learn how to build those relationships without being overbearing, without being a know-it-all, without being, and that goes not just to the people we're trying to lead, but even when we're out trying to talk to people, just out sharing our message, because when we come across as we have something that you need, we shut off so many and shut so many doors before we even get them open. So that's kind of the transformation that I've been going through. And I know there's a lot on my team that I've upset with my leadership style, and I'll be the first to admit to that and take that responsibility. And all I can do is work to amend that and show by action in the future. And that's what Carrie's really hit. And she had everybody take, Janice, you were there, and Michelle, you said you were there. Did any of you guys take the time to write down your statement? No.
With Kari, you mean?
Yeah. That was really powerful.
Yeah.
And that leads to, one of the other speakers, whoever it was, talked about, we have to keep where we're going in front of us, keep those goals and plans written in front of us and keeping that statement in front of us. So that was a big kind of aha for me.
And just so that everybody knows what the statement was, I'm going to read the phrases.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that you can hear it. If you don't capture it all right now, you can grab it on the replay. But she basically gave us fill in the blanks. And it said, this year, and this is forward thinking. So it is something that you could write in January of 2020, for example. This year, I learned the importance of fill in the blank. I grew in the area of fill in the blank. I feel in the blank. My business is going to fill in the blank because just because.
Mm-hmm.
I almost told you my answer. I know that I can blank because I no longer blank because I am ready to blank. So I agree with Amy wholeheartedly that if you sit down and you get quiet and centered, and you truly put your heart into that exercise, that will move you. Because it's very humbling, and it's an awakening. At least it was for me. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one, Amy. I felt like that was powerful.
It really was. And, you know, anything that goes on down there, I say down there because, you know, it's been south.
It's in the South.
It was in the South. It's going to be in the South again. It will be as powerful as you allow it to be for yourself. You know, if you're ready to hear the messages, you will hear your messages.
For sure. Amy, would you mind, when we go to the next speaker, would you mind typing those phrases in the chat box?
Sure.
If you have them handy.
I do have them written down, yep.
Perfect. All right. Janice, would you want to share anything next?
Sure, I can share. First of all, I apologize for being so tired looking tonight, but it fits. I think the thing that hit me the most was the relationship business. I think it's easy to think about just the people we sign up directly, but it's really a larger relationship than that. And it's modeling for the other people who have signed up other people and how to have a relationship business with everyone. It's not just, you know, your first leg. It's way more than that. So that's a huge area I need to grow with, because I feel like I have good relationships with my front line, but I need to keep growing below that. It's just worth going to.
Yeah. And I mean, let's talk about your bed mate, shall we? How awesome was that?
Was that you?
We can tell stories, but we won't. No, okay.
What happens in Nashville stays in Nashville.
Right on.
And the laughter was worth it.
It was tangible. Yes. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Okay. Anybody else? I know that, I know at least one person. Christy, if you can hear her, do you want to share anything that you have gathered from the digital ticket? I know we've had a few people. I'm not sure how many others have done the streaming at home, but that is such a generous offer from Jordan Schrant to be able to allow people to attend virtually. And we never know ahead of time if that will be an option. I will say this, as fantastic as that is, it can never, ever hold a candle to being there in person, because there's just a different energy in the room and the opportunities to meet and network and that sort of thing. But if you absolutely can't be there in person, it is for sure the next best thing to be able to watch those speakers. So if anyone else,
Skyla?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, I am on my phone and okay, I won't explain anything. It's just working right now, so I will talk.
I recognize your
Oh,
voice,
hold it. Is Christy, I can't see anybody on here. Is Christy on here?
She is.
Okay, let Christy talk first. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I don't know if she's here, but she's not saying anything. So, Christy, do you want to say anything? She raised her hand and muted herself.
Hidden people.
Huh?
She's one of those hidden people. We can't see her.
Oh, okay. I don't know what. I had to download this and everything. But anyway.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, she muted herself.
Yep.
Sherry, you muted yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
There we go. Now we can.
Okay, I'm going to stay right here in this spot.
Go for it.
Okay, what I took away, and many of you know I did not come home with my notes because I lost them there. So what I am remembering is kind of what stuck with me was how, your team, the volume of your team are the ones that just order. They're not the ones that are have a lot of people under them. A lot of the people that, here, I need to go in another room, don't I? Okay, a lot of the people that make up your OGV are people that order and they're not building, and we kind of leave them out sometimes because we're focused on our builders. So it talked about connecting with the people that are, maybe on ER with nobody under them, or people that are ordering. So that is something that stuck with me. And then I don't remember the percentage they said that is in your group that is just ordering. It's like, what, 70 or 80%?
Yes.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was really high.
Really high. So I think sometimes, we build relationships with the people that are doing things and working and sharing, that I think sometimes we kind of leave the people that are ordering and making up, they're the largest part of that team. And I think, and what I connected with was, we're kind of forgetting about those people. And, just like, Amy said, it goes back to relationship. So I think that's a focus for me. And I did run a couple of reports on that. And then, they said to find people that are on ER that have no one under them, and reach out and just tell them how much you appreciate them. We kind of take that for granted, So when you run that report, it's an eye opener. Mm-hmm. So that was something that I took away a ton of stuff, but that's something I really wanted to focus on. And then another lady said, just focus on like 3 things a month, 3 different areas or one area, and then focus on 5 or 6 members for 2 or 3 months and see what you can do with them, how you reach out to them, what you can do to help them, to support them, to answer questions, to work with them. And, that stuck with me as well, getting new people that I'm not reaching out to. And, maybe they have a lot of questions and things like that, but, we're just not hearing them because we're not asking. So, ouch.
That's good stuff.
Okay, Skyla.
Yes. Hi, Christy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We have so much going on tonight.
No worries.
It's like, and then when my mute was on, I can't get it off. Okay. Anyway, I'm here now.
Awesome.
I can't get everything. Yeah, my video is not working, but just by listening to it, I really, really, really liked Jordan Schrant and her whole idea as far as, I think whenever we first started showing the kit, we would go through each oil and show each oil individually. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I remember distinctively one time, this lady came over to my mom and they were showing her all the oils. And when she left, I looked at my mom and I'm like, oh my gosh, she is so overwhelmed. I could tell when she walked out that door that we would call just because we hit too much, I think, where Jordan kind of said, tell your story. And I like that. I like telling your story and their story and our story. And I'm just making it more of a story type thing instead of exactly what each oil will do. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah, so that was my big takeaway. And I'm kind of the same way. I left my notebook somewhere. And it has some good notes in it. I really liked a lot of the speakers, but that's the number one thing that comes to my mind right now. So yes,
I know that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that saying that we hear over and over, that facts tell, but stories sell. I think that those stories stick with people longer than just, lemon has D-limonene in it. Okay, so what does that mean? And if we can connect a story, we all tend to remember those. So excellent point.
Definitely. And also, I just like how Jordan was so passionate about what she knew. And just her sharing just made it that's a big part too. I think we just need to show that we're excited. You know, we can't just bottle that up. We've got to let it out and let people know. And I think people respond to that better. So
For sure. Yeah, Jordan definitely came out swinging that first night, and there was no question in anyone's mind that this woman was put on the planet for a purpose.
definitely.
And she made her mission abundantly clear, and it was exciting. I mean, it made everyone really sit up and pay attention, because you knew that she wasn't just talking to fill time. She was bringing it. And you guys, I really do feel like, not that we have to jump on our soapbox and preach, but you need to have a purpose behind sharing. You need to have a reason. If you're going to take up people's time, whether it's in a class in your home or a one-on-one in a coffee shop, you jolly well better have a reason for meeting them. And it's got to be compelling enough that they want to join you in that mission. So that was a phenomenal example of somebody that is clearly passionate. Awesome.
On that note, Skyla, too, if you paid attention to a number of the speakers, this is the red in me, you got to start paying attention to what is actually going on in the health and wellness industry right now, and what is going on with the CBD industry, and what is going on in different markets. For instance, the European market. You know, so for those who have a business, you know, were numbers and bottom line, there were more than 3 speakers that spoke to the state of the industry. So if you're looking, you know, that this is a saturated business, I can't go anywhere, I challenge you on that, because it's just opening wide open. We're just tapping into it.
I love it. Britta, how about if I come over to you? I know that you had a few other team members that were there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they will just step up and start sharing. Otherwise, I'm going to call them out, because I see they're actually videoing themselves and showing their smiling faces. So which one of you would like to share first? Go ahead, Evie.
Okay. I don't think that my sharing is it doesn't feel like rocket science in any way. But my big takeaway for the weekend was just, I need to do the work. I need to do the work. I need to do the work. And so I know I shared this with Britta before, but I came home and I took my calendar and I figured out how I could get an hour work in every day. And so I try to do that before I go to my other job in the morning. And someone had talked about contacting our writing thank yous to the people who order. And so I figured out how to do the labels. If you have not done this, it's so easy, so easy. Print your labels out, write thank yous in your car, send them out. It's so easy. So trying to focus on, my prospects, my current people, and then I don't have a lot of business builders. And so I need to now come up with some sort of plan to build more relationships with my people to see who might be a good fit for that. So, but it was just do the work. And I felt like almost every speaker went back to that for me. And that's probably what I was needing. So, but that was my main takeaways. So.
That's awesome.
And it's funny how when we need to hear something, and we just keep hearing it over and over and over again until we actually do the work or do whatever it is, right? Thank you so much for sharing. How about Rhonda? How about you? What do you have to share with us? You're muted, my friend. Let me see if I can Rhonda, you're muted. Skyla, can you unmute her?
Here we go. Okay, now talk, Rhonda.
All right. I think just this whole thing of talking to my future self, has really gotten underneath, just making me realize, okay, a year from now, what am I going to tell myself? And did I do that work to make my goal, for the future? So anyway, and I think just mainly what I've been doing is listening more to people instead of, sometimes you just want to tell them a bunch of stuff and you just have to listen to them and listen to what they want to, what their story is. Then you can bring your story in. And I've been doing a weekly email, and I think that's really helped a lot because I've shared, there's even some people that are on my email that have dropped off, and they're not members right now, but I've kept them on purpose. And so just like they're still on, I just on purpose keep talking to them and sharing with them, giving recipes, giving tips. And like last week, after the Diamond Bound, I said how great it was and that it was so much fun and I learned a lot and you guys need to come. And, I think it's just to try to keep that community open or the communication open constantly. But anyway, that's probably mainly.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Yeah.
You want to share one of the exciting things that happened for your team while we were down at Diamond Bound?
Yeah. My brother and I had gone down together, and he knew a friend in Nashville, and she offered to let us stay there, so we stayed there with her. And she actually came to the Diamond Bound with us.
Oh, wow.
And by the time it was over, she ended up buying a kit, and it wasn't just, because she really wanted it, and she couldn't decide which one to get. So she was kind of thinking about the thieves one, but after we talked to Britta a little bit, she realized, you know what, the best value is in the oil, so that's the one she got. And actually it's worked out good because I've been talking to her off and on, and she's had some issues with her legs and different things, so I've kind of been sharing, what to do with it and with the oils, and so it's worked out good. And she actually wants to maybe pursue the business also. So
awesome.
So now I have two builders.
I love it.
Possibly, yeah. My brother's all excited about doing it too. So we're right now we've been trying to figure out who his prospects are and who he's gonna follow up with next. So that's what we've been working on.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I was pretty excited when I heard Jordan share in a video that she had a new friend, basically a prospect, that she really wanted to pour belief into, and she bought her ticket for this gal. It was a gift, and she came to Diamond Bound, and she was so compelled by all of the information shared that on the Monday after Diamond Bound, she got her starter kit, and Jordan said that she is telling everyone she knows about Young Living and that she is on track to hit executive by the end of this month.
Wow.
Now,
that's awesome.
That's leaving with fire in your belly, you guys, and literally making a decision that I'm going to go tell everybody I know, and I don't care if they think I'm weird. Get out of my way. I've got a new purpose. So just, I mean, I'm so proud of you, Rhonda, that you invited this person to come. And don't ever underestimate the impact of an invitation, you guys. They don't have to be members to come in the door, but I guarantee you, when they are surrounded by thousands of people, they're going to end up becoming members by the end of the weekend. Yes? Yep. I mean, that's just easy. You just sit back and smile and let everybody on stage do their job.
Yeah, in fact, she was so overtaken by Mary's story that was pretty much what sold her.
Wow.
It didn't have to be anything else. It was Mary's story that did it to her. She's like, wow, that lady is awesome. You know, she just loved the whole story that she gave. So
cool. And you guys, isn't that the neatest thing? If there's 5,000 people in a room, there's 5,000 different most impactful moments, right? I mean, yeah. it just depends on where you are in the journey. And I don't know what that sound is, you guys. Is somebody taking a bath? Make sure you're muted because we can hear it all. No. Anyway, I think that's fantastic, though. And if she hadn't been there, that's information, Rhonda, that could not have been conveyed in a 101 class.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so that cool. Definitely had a big impact on me even.
Yeah.
So.
That's amazing. I love it. Is there anybody else here? I certainly don't want to overlook anybody that was there or that got the live streaming ticket.
Miss Alice was there. Alice, do you have, I know you're driving, it looks like, but do you have anything that you would like to share?
I just loved the fact that they were constantly talking about relationships and meeting people where they are and running your own business, just being authentic, being yourself, getting rid of your mask and doing what is right for you. This is your business and you've got to do what you've got to do, what feels right in your heart. So it just fell right in line with what I had been doing with my business. And don't worry about if you're at a stuck spot. Keep sharing, keep talking, and it'll pick back up.
Love it.
Loved it.
Good deal. Go ahead, Britta, did you want to share?
Sure, I will. So one of the things I loved, and I've heard from Jody and Sarah about the 3 pillars before, and I think Skyla might be a good time just to, with so many people here, just to talk briefly about the 3 pillars as well. And I've heard Sarah share this too, but one of the things that really stood out to me, she said, am I showing up just when I don't like or approve of something and somebody else and what they're doing, or am I earning a voice in their life through trust and gaining influence? And you guys, that is such a powerful thought. If you really think about that, this transcends Young Living. This goes to every area of our life. And when we're, it could be your family relationships, it could be your business relationships, it could be your friendships, it could be the neighbor across the road. And am I showing up just when I want to scold or criticize or complain or critique, or am I showing up and earning influence and earning a voice in their life? And am I allowing other people to show up in my life just to critique? Because that was really her point, was that she was allowing somebody in her life that was so incredibly critical of her. And she finally thought, why am I allowing this person to lay there by yourself? And so, when we think about that and we guard our circles and we guard our sphere of influence and the people around us, that it can be so powerful for us and who God has us to become, right? And I think that that's a big part of this, is that what kind of influence do you want to be in somebody else's life, or what kind of voice do you want to have in their life? And I loved how she said that, because it just really struck me that I want to be like, I'm thinking about with my kids. I've got a senior this year, And, you know, she's going to go off to college 5 hours away, she believes. And, you know, she's doing different activities and stuff now. And so I'm giving her the freedom, but I still want to be the influence, and I still want to be the voice in her life. And she has to now because she's still here. But I want that to transcend, that when she goes off to college, that she still desires to have me speak into her life. And how much, you know, more for my kids, but also who do I want in my team? And Michelle talked about, you know, finding 5 or 10 people. Who do you want to work with? You know, and sometimes it's the people in our teams that are not our direct levels. And some of my closest relationships are not the people I enrolled personally. They're people who were enrolled by somebody who were enrolled by somebody who enrolled by somebody. In fact, Michelle, I think we figured out is like 7 levels below me. And yet she is someone that I value, and I allow her to have influence and to speak truth to me. And she allows me that as well, because there's a value there, right? And because there's a relationship that we've built. And so I want to say that I think sometimes leaders get put on a pedestal, and this certainly happens sometimes with diamonds, but it can happen when you're an executive. Rhonda, it could happen with you because, you know, with this new gal, because you know more than she does. And she may put you on this pedestal like, oh, you know, Rhonda knows all the things, or, you know, or who her connections are, whatever. And so we have a big responsibility to speak truth and to speak life and value into them. But it doesn't mean that we allow anybody to just come in and wipe us out either. I hope that makes sense. And so, if you want, as you know, some of you guys might be like, oh, you know, I really like to talk to, well, I'm just going to pick on Michelle because I already picked on her and I don't see her on here anymore. But I really would like to get more influence with Michelle, or I would really like to, you know, have a relationship with her. Seek her out, right? Or if you want Skyla, seek her out, or me, and just say, you know what, this is something that I would value some time with you. And it could be face-to-face, it could be online, it could be, you know, a phone call, it could be a text or whatever. But sometimes, you know, I think sometimes the squeaky wheels get the grease, or the leaders, the people who are doing something, get the grease. But I love that Diamond Bound this year was about the people who aren't doing all the things, but that are doing the things that matter, and that they're the ones that are ordering, and they're the ones that are using the product, and they're the ones that may be having the questions, and that aren't reaching out because they think that you, me, whoever, are unattainable or unapproachable. And yet it's our job to say, you know what, I'm not. I'm here for you. I value you. I cherish you. I would love to connect with you. So I've got to connect with my daughter right now because she's here leaning over my desk. So I'll be back.
Perfect. Well, that's a good segue. Britta mentioned early on about kind of reviewing the 3 pillars. So quick show of hands for those of you that are on here. How many of you are familiar with Sarah Lee and Jody Meschuk and their 3 pillars concept? Who all has heard of it? Okay, I see a couple of hands, and I'm guessing, okay, good. Luann is raising her hand in that one. Okay, perfect. So this is really so basic. It is so fundamental that when I heard the concept initially, I was so underwhelmed that I'm like, how can this be a thing? Why are we going back to kindergarten? Because I'm blue and I want the new shiny object to chase. I'm going to be honest. Okay. But you guys, at the end of the day, this is what it boils down to. We don't have to make it hard, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel if we literally will focus our energy on these 3 areas. Every blessed one of you, one of us, can be Royal Crown Diamond. And I'm not just talking whatever. I'm serious. So the 3 pillars, they've simplified them now that they all start with the letter E, which I love that because I can remember that alliteration. Okay. The 3 pillars are embrace, educate, and empower. Okay, I'm going to unpack each of those just a little bit, but embrace, educate, and empower. You can probably already figure out what each of those entail, but basically, when you think of an embrace, think of you kind of bringing together all the people, right? So that is the step where we increase our circle of influence. And we can do this in so many ways. They talk about using the Let's Be Friends cards instead of, I'll show you the what not to do. This is my current business card. I literally have about 10 of them left, and I can't wait for them to run out because I'm going to change it up dramatically. But it's just my mug on there. And on the back, it has a little bit of Young Living stuff, and it says, offering unique products, professional tools, hands-on training for physical, emotional, and financial wellness. Blah, blah, blah. Sounds pretty dry, doesn't it?
And
Okay.
Sadly, you could throw them away. It's okay.
I
You only have 10
could.
left.
That's a radical idea, Britta. Or I could actually get the new ones ordered before the last one gets used. That would be a planning ahead move. Anyway, okay, so the idea is this looks pretty stiff. I mean, for gosh sakes, I'm wearing a suit. Have you ever seen me in a suit? No. Okay, so we'll put those away. The Let's Be Friends card simply says, hello, my name is Skyla, and I like playing the piano, growing hostas, going on, you know, long walks on the beach, whatever, reading books, cooking, eating, and essential oils, and dogs, and whatever. So you incorporate in what you do love about natural health and wellness. Amy might write that she loves blogging, or she loves, you know, hiking in the desert. I don't know what each of you love, but the point is you've got to have a life outside of Young Living. And I will be the first to tell you that if you don't, I don't want to be friends with you. Does that sound harsh? I'm so stinking serious. You guys, you were creative, attractive people before Young Living, and you have to remain that now that you're in it. Because if all you do is put blinders on and talk about DiGize and ImmuPro, bleh, boring, right? So in order to attract a circle of people, you have to be interesting. And that doesn't mean you have to like skydive, but I mean, have some interest for heaven's sakes. Okay, so that's the embrace. Okay, let's see. The second one, educate. So okay, embrace, by the way, at the end of that step, that is where we welcome them in with a premium starter kit or as a member. Okay, I gotta let go of the premium starter kit thing because now we have custom kits and they might want to start with that too. But welcome them in as a member, okay? That's the end of step one. Step two is educate, and this is where we are helping our members realize the full benefit of the Young Living lifestyle. And the end of step two, anybody guess? It's getting people on essential rewards, getting them to be fully vested in the lifestyle, okay? We are looking for the whites of people's eyes. That's how you know who to educate. The people that are looking up, those are the people that you talk to. The people that are kicking the dirt and looking backwards, they're not ready for you yet. Don't chase them, okay? Look for the whites of people's eyes. Sarah and Jody say this all the time, and I think it is the best advice. It's good advice when you're prospecting, and it's good advice when you're speaking with your team. Look for the people who are looking for you, okay? Do not burn bridges. Use discernment to know who is ready. And oh my goodness, another good visual for you that they recommend, do not machete your way through relationships. You're going to need those people later, okay? And they're going to need you. And if you machete your way through, it makes it really hard to rebuild those bridges. So extend a lot of grace. And I know it's hard. I do, but we must, okay? The third step is empower. And this is the most important step to develop the cycle. So this is where we want to discover new people who are going to share. And we do this by continually exposing them to the idea of sharing with new people. And we have to do this over and over. And I need to be reminded of this just as much as anybody. Sometimes I fall into the trap of thinking if I've shared something in our team Facebook group once, everybody's good. That's so silly. We all know the algorithms of Facebook mean that about 4% of you saw it. And it also means that anybody who was new, who joined in the 3 months since I shared that thing last July, you haven't seen it. It's so silly. So we repeat the same message over and over. So if you've had a business meeting once upon a time with your team, guess what? You got to do it again. You got to do it like every month. And you've got to sit down with people more than once, because guess what? We're not all ready at the same time. We're like little eggs in a cooker, and some come to a boil faster than others. That's probably a bad example, but you know what I mean, okay? So we keep exposing people to the idea of sharing so that we're working with more than just 1% of the team. What we really, really want, and this is Jody's phrase that she has kind of coined, we want an army of ants, which means if everybody carries a tiny bit of the workload, we have a monumental effect. Okay, I shared this on a Zoom that Britta and I were doing earlier with our Rising Stars group. Can you imagine? Now, I don't know the size of everybody's team here, but a lot of people that I do know, they've got at least a few people. Some of you have a few hundred. But what if everybody just shared with one person on your team this month? Who would totally do a cartwheel in the front yard if that happened? Right? One person.
Okay, and everybody should have your hand raised, because do you understand that if everybody shared with one person, your group could double in size? Even if it's just you and you shared, you just increased 100%.
Just double.
That is amazing.
It's a big deal. Okay, so an army of ants, that concept is so simple. It's so elementary, but you guys, it is so powerful. So we have to normalize the idea of just sharing with one. Just share with one person. Who's your favorite best friend? Okay, when you enroll someone, plant that seed in their head right then. I bet you cannot wait to go home and tell your best friend about this. Do you have a sister? Oh my gosh, you're going to want to do this together with her. You have 3 sisters? Oh, you're going to hit executive. Okay, like get excited for them, because by the way, enthusiasm is completely contagious and it will rub off. I promise you. Okay, you just got to bring a little bit to the table. They will catch it and they can run with it. Okay, and then you can go home and rest if that's not your natural state. Okay, so that's a little bit on the 3 pillars. Are you still good? Because there's one exercise I really want to do with you that Jill Sager did with us. And I found it so incredibly profound, it like left my jaw hanging on the floor. So this is an exercise that Jill does at her Create retreats. And you might have heard about those. How many of you are in the Grow group? It is a free Facebook group. And I'm telling you what, she and her fellow mentors, they deliver so much valuable free content. It is ridiculous. I'm so grateful for them. But Jill started last year or the year before, perhaps, hosting these Create retreats. And they're small in number, like 10 people max. And it's all kind of diving into personal development, which I kind of dig that, because if you can move that ceiling up a little bit, you can grow a little bit more. Okay, so really fast, this is a short exercise that she took us through right there at Diamond Bound, and I really want you guys to do it. It's called 3 days, 3 people. Okay, so you got to have something to write with. Here's the deal. You have 3 days to spend with 3 people. Okay, and they can be one at a time, doesn't matter. The people can be dead or alive. They can be someone that you know, or they could be a celebrity. Okay, but I want you to think about, who would you want to spend 3 days with? I'm going to be really quiet for just a moment, and I seriously want you to give this some thought. Who are the 3 people? Think about their character traits. Think about what you want to learn from them, or how they make you feel. All righty. So you got your 3 people. Now, beside those names, what I want you to think about are 3 characteristics of each of those people. So look at the first name that you wrote down, and actually right beside that name, what is it about that person? 3 things. Are they wise? Are they funny? Are they resourceful? Are they creative? Whatever it is, I want you to write that down beside their name. Okay. So hopefully you've got those. If you need to finish up later, you totally can. Now here comes the magical part. This is what absolutely blew my mind. I want you to look at your first person, okay, and look at the character traits. So for example, I wrote down Warren Buffett for one of my people. And the character traits that I wrote about Warren is that he's an entrepreneur, he's wise, and he's funny. And what Jill told us to do next was to take each of those character traits and put I am in front of them. So I am an entrepreneur. I am wise. I am funny. And there is a phenomenal psychological experiment happening at this very moment, that the character traits that you seek in others are the ones that are resident already in yourself. Now look at that list. Is that crazy or what? Now you can't go change them now. I just felt like that was so profound. And it really did kind of awaken some things in me that I thought, oh my goodness, I need to pay attention to that gift. Because one of the things that I wrote for one of the other people, I used empathetic as a descriptor for her. And I thought, I need to kind of hone in on that skill. There was a time in my life, I think I was more empathetic, and I think I've grown a little bit more impatient, perhaps, but that is something that I know is in me that I might have kind of pressed down. So have fun kind of thinking on that for a little while. I just found that exercise completely profound. I don't know if it has that impact on anybody else. It did on Kim. So my work here is done. Good. Okay. I thought it was pretty cool. So let's see. I'm just kind of glancing back through notes. Britta, if there is any other nuggets, I know you didn't have a ton of time to share. So if there's other things that you would like to.
No, I'm good. I just want to encourage all of you. You know, there definitely is power in going to events. Okay. And I think that a lot of times we get in our heads and think, oh, you know, it's expensive. And we come up with all the reasons why we can't do it. But what I really want to encourage you when tickets come available, you know, and evidently they're being sold in packs of 5 or 10, and I don't know where what the price will be for them. But if it's something that you really want to go to, maybe you reach out to those people that love you and that will be giving you Christmas gifts, and you say, you know, instead of the jeans from wherever or the gift card to wherever, I would love it if you would help me invest in myself, because this is personal development and this is helping me to be a better person. And because you guys, this is so much more than just Young Living. And I want you to understand that I think a lot of times we think it's just business. It's just business. And yes, Diamond Bound is much more business focused than convention, but it's personal development, and it's becoming a better person of who you are. And, you know, I love, Amy, I love that you shared what you shared at the very beginning, because I have totally, and I messaged you privately and said, I've totally seen this change in you and this softening of you, and this, like, you're just more calm and relaxed in who you are. And that's personal development, you guys. And could she have gotten that through any other business? Maybe, but not in the typical corporate world, because that corporate world teaches women to be a bitch. You know, it just like, you have to do this and do this and do this. And what Young Living, I think one of the best and maybe worst things about Young Living, I don't know, is that we get to be us, and that we get to grow as people. And it takes us from where we are when we start to unleashing and revealing our potential of who we can be. And we can choose to step into that potential, or we can choose to say, no, I don't want to do that, because that seems a little too much. That's a little too hard, and it's too out of my comfort zone, or whatever. And the great thing about it is that you can step back into your comfort zone for a while, and then something's going to happen. And it's going to be like, it opens again, and you're like, oh, okay, it's time to step into this, and it's time to change. And, you know, Amy's become maybe less red and more softened. I've become less soft and wishy-washy and pushover to, I can assert myself, and it's okay for me to stand up and say, this is not okay. Skyla's gone from squirrel to, okay, I can sit down and do it. I can actually do a class and stay on target. Okay. I'm just picking on them because I know them. Okay. But you know, wherever you are, if we don't challenge ourselves to grow, then think of how stagnant we are and how boring we are, right? And how bored with life we are. And I believe that life is meant to be experienced. And money opens up doors. That's all money does, you guys. It's not good or bad. It just opens a different door. And it may, you know, some of us, let me just say it this way. I never, growing up, and even probably 7 years ago could never have imagined my life to be what it is today. Okay. Good and bad, because we still have our stuff. Let me just tell you. Okay. And we're still working on growing through our stuff. But I never could have imagined what I have today. And I will say 100% it's because of Young Living, not just because of the financial income, but because of the leadership roles and the different responsibilities and the different people that have come into my life because of this business that have created me into being who I am, good and bad, flaws and successes, and all my stuff that I choose every day to, am I going to do something with this today, or am I not going to do something with this today? And some days I choose not to. Okay. So I just hope that that's encouraging to you, that wherever you are today, we're not asking you to change everything in your life. But if you see a bigger picture or have a bigger vision for what you want your life to be, I believe that was given to you for a purpose. And don't just put it aside or put it on the shelf and think, well, someday we'll get to that. Because today may be the day that you have something to share with somebody else that's going to make a huge impact and a difference in their life. So I hope that you'll take that. And I hope that you will reach out to us, whoever it is that you connect with in Young Living, that you'll reach out and say, you know what, I want to do this, and this is what I'm willing to do. Don't ask us to do it for you, because we can't and won't, and it won't matter if we do. This is, sometimes we have to do the personal work inside of us so that we can really impact the world. And that's what the people that were on stage at Diamond Bound, they've done that personal work, and they're continuing to do it, and they're impacting, they impacted 5,000 people that weekend, in one weekend, by a 40-minute speech, some of them. And that's something that we can't take lightly. And that if that's something that's in your heart to impact people, you'll be able to do that, even if it's one person at a time. Okay. And that's more my comfort zone, I'll just say. So thank you for listening to me.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I don't have anything else to add to that. I think that's a wonderful way to wrap up. But friends, take the opportunity. As far as I know, tickets go on sale on November 1st. So you have from today until November 1st to get together whatever the ticket price might be. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Just set aside $200 right now. I don't think it's going to be more than that. But set it aside. There's a lot of ways to earn money. You can enroll people right now. And that's the easiest way, I think. But there's also lots of other creative ways that you can earn some extra money. Sell stuff, babysit, rake yards. How perfect that it's fall right now, right? Get creative and encourage your team. The biggest impact that you can have, we've already said it once, but the more people from your organization that you can invite and take with you, the greater the impact it will have on your paychecks in 2021. Okay, we are planning ahead. This is the long game. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon, okay? And if you're in it for the long game, you start nurturing those relationships, getting those people on board, get your 5-pack or your 10-pack of tickets and fill them up. I'm not asking anybody to go into debt over this. But what I would encourage is find your 4 other or your 9 other people, and you all put your money in on the same day. Yeah. So everybody is invested for their ticket. So nobody has to float anybody alone. Just get together with your people. Okay. It takes a little bit of organization. This grows you as a leader. It's what leaders do. Okay. And then be ready to grab those tickets on November 1st. And Dallas is very doable. So we will see you at the Gaylord. It's going to be awesome. So thank you so much, friends. Have an excellent night.